Episode 61, Slice of Life. My name is Keith Rad. That is Billy Harner. This is our good news show. We'll hit you with the best thing we saw from the internet, our favorite social slice. We celebrate those chicken parm heroes. Always at lunchtime has me hankering for a chicken parm. And then always sports. So, Billy, I'm going to kick it off with you. Your favorite social slice.
Dan Presser is a dad in Connecticut who, like the rest of us, has sort of lost his mind a little bit during quarantine. And he's been looking for creative outlets while also enjoying some time with his kids. So what did he do? He has decided to remake some classic moments from TV and movies using his children as the stars. He's done Jurassic Park. He's done Braveheart. He's done Old School. He's got some Baywatch in the backyard pool. For the Old School one, his youngest child goes streaking through the quad. It's enjoyable. It's very funny. But since we're baseball fans here, I thought we'd highlight this clip when he recreated A League of Their Own, and there's no crying in baseball. Take a look.
Ellen, you have a minute? What team you play for? I was wondering why. Why you're for home when we have two non-lead. We let them lead because you start using your head. That's that rump, free above your butt. Are you crying? You're crying? There's no crying in baseball. There's no crying in baseball.
So his Instagram account where he posts everything is DJ Pressy, Presse. Definitely do yourself a favor and go check it out. It's a lot of fun. He's got some really good stuff on there. And this is sort of dad goals for me. You know, I wish that I had the ability to do some type of video editing and be creative like this. So this is pretty cool to see. And I am going to throw this out there that I want his daughter to do a remake of the end of Shawshank Redemption with one of her friends, where they end up on a beach in Sewataneo and are reunited after the quarantine is over. So that's my suggestion for Dan Presser.
Yeah, I cannot wait 100% to be a father, so I can do this with my children, make them do different movies and TV shows. I love the little one. Obviously, the little blondie is the star of the show, but the little guy, he's bawling his eyes out over there. Poor kid.
Yeah, it made me think what he did to make his kid cry like that. You know, like what do you do to make sure you got the perfect shot? And he got the absolute perfect shot.
My favorite social slice, desperate times call for desperate measures. And apparently in Berlin, Germany, a lot of people are wearing masks, but a lot are not wearing masks. So when people jump on a train, on a bus, whatever public transportation, apparently they're just kind of doing this thing where they're just covering their mouth and not their nose. And I mean, it's a bad attempt. So what does Berlin do? Take a look at this tweet and let me know if you picked up on it. The tweet translates to, quote, "You leave us no choice." They are going to, and by they, I mean the public transportation company, is going to forbid the riders of public transportation from wearing deodorant, and that if passengers are encouraged to allow the natural scent of their body to develop and, quote, flower unabated, especially as the summer wears on, they will provide one another with the encouragement that they need to keep their faces fully covered and protected from vile odor and the virus alike. Bill, don't hate the player, hate the game, love the account, love the move, RESPECT, stinky to get the job done.
Yeah, I used to take the subway back and forth to high school every day, and I think the MTA banned deodorant a long time ago here in New York. So, this is you're familiar with that, going back and forth to Coney Island too. But this is great. Desperate times call for desperate measures. So whatever you got to do to make people wear their masks.
Chicken Parm Heroes, I'll kick this one off first. One of the best parts about living in New York City is not only the different ethnicities and cultures. You can go to whatever restaurant from all parts of the world. There's a flavor and a culture here. But it's also the secret sports bars around New York City that belong to different fans from different places. For instance, my fiance is a big Michigan Wolverines fans, so we go to Professor Tom's on the Lower East Side every year to watch Ohio State beat them. And it's sorry, I hate Ohio State personally, but that's just what happens. But there's a bar called Kettle of Fish in Greenwich Village. It's a Green Bay Packers bar that was looking for some financial help during the crisis. They had a GoFundMe page set up. A lot of places are doing this. But Aaron Rodgers, quarterback of the Packers, obviously, caught wind of this, and he had actually attended this bar back in April of last year after the draft. He stopped in, hung out with everybody. Well, he shared it on social media, and obviously things have taken off since then. The GoFundMe, I've been checking in on it. I think the goal was about $150,000. They're at the 58,000. I checked before, 59, 60. It's moving very quickly. This is a brush fire a little bit. So my chicken parm hero is Aaron Rodgers. Sometimes it's the influencer that hits retweet will help places out. So I love this because there's a lot of these bars are small fan bases in the city, and they're not these massive places that can kind of hold themselves up during this. So props to Aaron Rodgers. And props to Kettle of Fish for keeping the sports flair alive.
I love that, exactly what you said, that there's these little tiny bars that have their unique viewership that they bring in. And especially like during World Cup and when there's soccer and stuff, like all these little bars that you've never heard of are all of a sudden the epicenter of Team Ukraine playing in the World Cup. So that stuff's always great. For my chicken parm heroes, today is a very important day in music history, Keith, because today Ringo Starr turns 80 years old. And how do you celebrate? When you are one of the members of the most beloved band probably in the history of the world. Well, obviously you put on a concert. So tonight at 8:00, Ringo Starr will get by with a little help from his friends. See what I did there? Including Sir Paul McCartney and Joe Walsh and many others. It's going to be live streamed on YouTube starting at 8:00 tonight. It's going to be a combination of at-home performances. So it'll be interesting to see, Ringo and Paul reunite from Zoom. How they've gone from Ed Sullivan to Zoom is interesting. But it'll all go down tonight at 8:00. Any type of new content we're always looking forward to, and I'm sure there's going to be some type of charitable component that they bring into this as well. So I'm looking forward to something to watch tonight that isn't, reruns of Beat Bobby Flay or something like that. So looking forward to this.
I love Beat Bobby Flay almost as much as everybody loves Ringo. The one Beatle that Ringo's such a funny story. I mean, happy birthday to him. My mother's a huge Paul McCartney fan and the Beatle fan, so I grew up with this. But Ringo's got the short end of the stick, unfortunately, for the last 50, 60, 70 years. But I'm happy that everyone's rallying around him. Joe Walsh is awesome, too. So I will definitely be tuning in for that. So that's a pretty sweet little find. Sports. Major League Baseball may be coming to Nashville, Tennessee. Dave Dombrowski is a name you might know. He was the GM, president of baseball operations, I should say, for the Boston Red Sox, was the GM of the Tigers for all those years, basically a front office lifer. He's leading a group called Music City Baseball with Dave Stewart and Tony La Russa to bring Major League Baseball to Nashville. And I don't know if you've been to Nashville, Bill, but it is amazing. I've been twice. One of the coolest places. Right now it's like Bachelorette City, but when you can, dodge all the ladies running down the street and hop into one of these bars, the music scene is amazing. You really have to get down there. And I found this map from Trey Wilson, who is a minor league baseball broadcaster. He's been at a couple different stops along the way. He has this map of MLB teams, which are in red, and then all the minor league teams, which are in blue. And you can tell, like this year is such a crazy year with no minor league baseball and how impactful it is that outside of the Major League Baseball cities, people aren't getting live baseball like they normally would. So Nashville would be a great option. They already have the AAA team, the Nashville Sounds, which is right now the Texas Rangers affiliate. But who knows? I mean, anytime you can bring baseball to a new place and a place that's flourishing. I mean, the Tennessee Titans play like down the block from Main Street in Nashville, and the Nashville Predators play right on Main Street, so on Broadway. Why not baseball? Why not the big leagues? But I love this.
Yeah, Nashville's sort of one of the up and coming cities, I guess. There and Charlotte seem to be the two big cities in terms of population booms and money, which is obviously very important if you're going to have a professional sports franchise. I know that Nashville has been in talks with Major League Baseball of being sort of their own free agent league, I guess, for guys who haven't signed with major league teams during this unique season, with the idea that they're going to need to sign players and people are going to get hurt and things like that. So they're looking to have a league where they'll be running and paying for everything themselves, the Nashville organization, Thursday to Sundays, with free agents competing in a league and staying sharp and getting their innings and getting their at-bats in case they need to get called up to a major league affiliate. So that'll be an interesting foray into dealing with Major League Baseball. And I think another cool part about this Dave Stewart-led group is that they're trying to be, I believe, one of the first, if not the first, African-American majority owner of a Major League Baseball team. So considering everything else that's going on, that would be a great step in the right direction for the sport. For my sports story, this weekend will be Fight Island in the UFC, which is just an outrageous sort of idea, but it has come to fruition. When it all started, people were making Fire Fest jokes and things like that. But John Oliver, who has a critically acclaimed weekly show on HBO called Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. It's very funny. He's very funny. So during COVID, when the Fight Island idea came out, he was pretty critical of not necessarily the idea, but the name Fight Island, and said that there were so many better opportunities like Owie Maui or Brawlhamas, among two of my favorite. But he said the best one would have just been UFC, with the C as in under the sea, SEA. So I thought that was great and funny. Dana White, who is the head of UFC, is known to be rather confrontational with those who may poke fun or disagree with perhaps what he's doing. Actually embraced it as well, and has created a line of clothing with UFSEA on it for UFC that he will be selling, with all proceeds going to the Woodruff Foundation, which is a charity that deals with veterans who are injured and helping support them and their families, which is a charity that John Oliver has a lot to do with. But UFC 251 will take place this weekend on an island in Abu Dhabi. It is Fight Island. This is going to be something to see. You've seen some pictures of it. There's an octagon just out on the beach, and guys are just going to beat each other up on this island. So I haven't, before this pandemic, I was never really a big UFC guy. I've seen a lot of it because they're on ESPN and it's a live event, and I'm just starved for watching anything. And these dudes are nuts. Like, they just destroy each other. I mean, we had a story where a guy, won a fight after he tore his ACL 15 seconds in. And there was a fight last weekend or the weekend before where, you looked at pictures of these guys from the first round and then looked at them again in the fifth round, and they are unrecognizable. If there was a police lineup, all these guys would have gotten away with it because you couldn't tell what their faces looked like. But it's happening. It's getting bigger. And I think this Fight Island thing this weekend, where there's been the changes in who the main event are, because one guy had to step away for an illness. I don't know if it was COVID or something else. So a guy, a week in advance, took a blood test, said that he didn't have COVID, got on a plane and is flying to Abu Dhabi now to get into a fight where he will also beat the heck out of somebody else. So it'll be interesting to see what Fight Island and the UFSEA coming to you this weekend.
Yeah, the best part about this is that if you watch John Oliver, you know that a lot of his presentations usually come with some call to action at the end where he starts a hashtag or starts a website or something. So it is just kind of funny to see how the shoe is on the other table, which is turned. And Dana White is doing that right back to John Oliver.
Yeah, Dana White said that John Oliver saw that he trademarked the UFC. So John Oliver trademarked something that had lapsed for UFC, which was like never submit. And he's putting it on onesies that he's selling for children now as well. So he's having a little fun with it as well. So it should be fun.
Awesome. Well, I don't know if I'll be watching UFC, but anyway. Good stuff.
We'll be on Twitter, man. We'll see it on Monday.
Yeah, absolutely. Save my money for something else. Cool. Good stuff. I like that dad. I'm going to check out Dan presser as soon as this is all over.
Check it out. It's worth the watch. He's got a bunch of good stuff on there.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
Have a great day.